Instinct and learning are the two primary drivers of animal behavior, and today, we'll be exploring the various ways animals navigate their environments and adapt to different situations. Instinctual behavior is innate, meaning animals are born with these behaviors, which are often essential for survival. For instance, a sea turtle hatchling instinctively knows to head toward the ocean upon hatching, while a bird is born with the knowledge of how to build its species-specific nest. Both genes and the environment play a role in shaping instinctual behavior. Habituation is a simple form of learning in which an animal's response to a stimulus decreases over time due to repeated exposure. This process allows animals to filter out irrelevant stimuli and focus on what's important. For example, a squirrel might become accustomed to the presence of humans and learn not to be frightened by them. Classical conditioning is another form of learning, famously demonstrated by Ivan Pavlov with his salivating dogs. In this type of learning, an animal learns to associate a neutral stimulus with a significant one. For instance, a dog might learn that the sound of a can opener means it's feeding time. Operant conditioning, pioneered by B.F. Skinner, involves learning through the consequences of an animal's behavior. This type of learning is how animals come to understand that specific actions lead to rewards or punishments. For example, a dolphin might learn to perform a trick in exchange for a fish. Observational learning is a more complex form of learning where animals learn by watching others. This type of learning is critical in the development of social behaviors and problem-solving skills. For example, a young meerkat might learn to dig for insects by observing its parents. Insight learning is the ability to solve complex problems without prior experience. It's often seen in animals with advanced cognitive abilities, such as apes and certain bird species like crows. This type of learning allows animals to think critically and adapt to new situations quickly. Imprinting is a unique form of learning that occurs during a specific period in an animal's early life, often relating to the formation of social bonds and navigation skills. For example, newly hatched ducklings will imprint on the first moving object they see, usually their mother, and follow it around. In conclusion, understanding animal behavior, including instinct and learning, is essential for conservation efforts, animal welfare, and human-animal interactions. Next time you encounter an animal, take a moment to appreciate the complexities of its behavior and the fascinating world that lies beneath the surface. These innate behaviors are hardwired into an animal's genetic makeup and are often essential for their survival. For instance, a newborn kangaroo instinctively climbs into its mother's pouch, while salmon are born with the knowledge of how to migrate back to their spawning grounds. One key characteristic of instinctual behavior is that it is relatively fixed and doesn't require learning. These behaviors are often species-specific, which means that they're unique to a particular species and shared among its members. Some common examples of instinctual behaviors include birds building nests, spiders spinning webs, and bees performing the waggle dance to communicate the location of food sources. Genes play a significant role in shaping instinctual behavior, but the environment can also influence how these behaviors are expressed. For example, environmental factors such as the availability of resources or the presence of predators can impact how an animal displays its instinctual behaviors. This interplay between genes and the environment highlights the complex nature of animal behavior. Moving on to habituation, this is a simple form of learning that allows animals to adapt to their environment by decreasing their response to a stimulus over time. Habituation occurs when an animal is repeatedly exposed to a stimulus that has no significant consequence. As a result, the animal learns that the stimulus is not important and stops responding to it. For example, imagine a bird that lives near a busy road. Initially, the noise from passing cars might startle the bird, causing it to fly away. However, over time, the bird will learn that the noise doesn't pose any threat and will stop reacting to it. This ability to filter out irrelevant stimuli is crucial for animals, as it allows them to focus their attention on more important aspects of their environment, such as finding food or avoiding predators. In summary, instinctual behavior and habituation are critical components of animal behavior, enabling animals to navigate their environments effectively and adapt to various situations. Both the genetic makeup of an animal and its environment contribute to shaping these behaviors, highlighting the complexity and beauty of the animal world. Habituation is a fundamental form of learning that plays a crucial role in animals' ability to adapt to their environment. It is a process through which an animal decreases its response to a repeated stimulus that has no significant consequences. In other words, an animal learns to ignore stimuli that are irrelevant to its survival or well-being. One example of habituation can be seen in birds that live near urban areas. At first, the sound of a car horn may startle them, causing them to fly away. However, as they are exposed to this sound repeatedly and realize it poses no threat, they become habituated to it and stop responding. This ability to filter out irrelevant stimuli allows animals to focus on the more important aspects of their environment, such as finding food, avoiding predators, and reproducing. Another example of habituation can be observed in sea anemones. When a sea anemone is touched, it typically responds by retracting its tentacles to protect itself. However, if the touch is gentle and repeated, the sea anemone will eventually stop retracting its tentacles, having learned that the stimulus is harmless. Habituation also plays a role in human-animal interactions. For example, many wild animals, such as squirrels or pigeons, might initially be fearful of humans. Over time, however, they may become habituated to our presence, allowing us to observe and appreciate them up close. In conclusion, habituation is a simple yet essential form of learning that helps animals adapt to their surroundings by enabling them to distinguish between relevant and irrelevant stimuli. Understanding this process can provide valuable insights into the complexities of animal behavior and improve our interactions with the natural world. Classical conditioning is a type of associative learning, where an animal learns to associate a neutral stimulus with a biologically significant stimulus. This learning process was first described by Russian psychologist Ivan Pavlov in the late 19th century through his famous experiments with dogs. Pavlov observed that dogs would naturally salivate in response to food being presented to them, which is an unconditioned response to an unconditioned stimulus. He then began to ring a bell, a neutral stimulus, just before presenting the food. Over time, the dogs began to associate the sound of the bell with the presentation of food, and they would start to salivate upon hearing the bell alone. The bell had become a conditioned stimulus, and the dog's salivation in response to the bell was a conditioned response. Classical conditioning can be observed in a wide range of animals. For example, in marine snails, researchers have been able to induce classical conditioning by pairing a neutral stimulus, such as a light flash, with a mild electric shock. After repeated pairings, the snails would withdraw their gills, a defensive response, upon exposure to the light flash alone. Another example can be found in honeybees. When a bee visits a flower, it learns to associate the flower's scent with the nectar reward. This association allows the bee to become more efficient in foraging, as it can now recognize the scent of flowers that are likely to provide nectar. This learned association is an example of classical conditioning at work. Understanding classical conditioning can provide us with valuable insights into the ways animals learn and adapt to their environments. This knowledge can also be applied to improve animal training and welfare, as well as to inform conservation efforts and enhance our own interactions with the natural world. Operant conditioning, also known as instrumental conditioning, is another form of associative learning where animals learn to associate their actions with particular consequences. This type of learning was extensively studied by American psychologist B.F. Skinner, who developed the concept of the Skinner box, a controlled environment used to study the behavior of animals like rats and pigeons. In operant conditioning, an animal's behavior can be influenced by either reinforcement or punishment. Reinforcement is when a consequence strengthens the likelihood of a behavior being repeated, while punishment weakens the likelihood of a behavior. Reinforcements and punishments can be either positive or negative, depending on whether something is added or removed from the situation. For example, Skinner demonstrated that a hungry rat placed in a Skinner box would learn to press a lever to obtain food, which is a positive reinforcement. Conversely, a rat might learn to avoid pressing a lever that resulted in a mild electric shock, which is a form of negative punishment. Operant conditioning can be observed in various animals and has many practical applications. In the world of animal training, techniques such as clicker training are based on the principles of operant conditioning, where animals are taught to associate the sound of a click with a food reward. This allows trainers to shape behaviors more effectively and can be used for training both domestic and wild animals in various settings. Furthermore, understanding operant conditioning can help us create better environments for animals in captivity, ensuring their well-being and addressing behavioral issues. It can also be applied to conservation efforts, such as training birds to avoid power lines or conditioning wildlife to avoid areas with human activity. In summary, operant conditioning is a fundamental aspect of animal behavior, helping animals adapt to their environments by learning which actions lead to positive or negative outcomes. This understanding can enhance our interactions with animals, improve their welfare, and support conservation efforts. Observational learning, sometimes referred to as social learning, is a type of learning where animals acquire new behaviors or knowledge by observing the actions of others. This form of learning is especially prevalent in social animals and plays a crucial role in the development of various behaviors and problem-solving skills. One classic example of observational learning in animals is the work of primatologist Jane Goodall and her studies on chimpanzees. She discovered that young chimps learn tool-use behaviors, such as using sticks to fish for termites, by watching their mothers and other group members. Similarly, dolphins have been observed learning hunting techniques and cooperative behaviors from their pod members, and elephants can learn to avoid specific areas or dangers by observing the reactions of older, more experienced individuals in their group. Birds also demonstrate observational learning, particularly when it comes to foraging and problem-solving. For example, blue tits in the United Kingdom learn to peck through the foil caps of milk bottles left on doorsteps to access the cream inside by observing other birds. This behavior spread rapidly throughout the population, highlighting the power of observational learning in animals. The ability to learn from others provides animals with several advantages, including the ability to acquire new skills and knowledge more quickly than trial and error alone. It can also help them adapt to changing environments and foster the development of complex social behaviors, such as cooperation, deception, and even culture. In conclusion, observational learning is an essential aspect of animal behavior, allowing animals to learn from the experiences of others and adapt to their environments more effectively. This form of learning plays a significant role in the development of social behaviors and problem-solving skills and contributes to the fascinating complexity of animal behavior. Insight learning is a type of learning where an animal suddenly grasps a solution to a problem or discovers a new behavior without any prior experience or gradual learning. This form of learning is typically associated with complex problem-solving abilities and is often seen as a sign of higher cognitive functioning in animals. One famous example of insight learning can be found in the research on chimpanzees conducted by Wolfgang Kohler. In his experiments, he observed that chimps were able to solve complex problems, such as reaching a banana hanging from the ceiling, by stacking boxes and using sticks to extend their reach. The chimps seemed to understand the solution almost immediately, demonstrating a sudden, aha, moment of insight. Birds, too, have exhibited insight learning. In a well-known experiment with New Caledonian crows, one crow named Betty demonstrated her problem-solving skills by bending a straight wire into a hook to retrieve a small bucket containing food from a tube. Betty had no prior experience with the task or the materials, yet she was able to devise a solution using her insight. Another remarkable example of insight learning can be seen in the behavior of certain species of parrots, such as the African gray parrot. These highly intelligent birds have been shown to possess the ability to understand complex concepts, such as object permanence and numerical quantities, as well as solving problems that require multiple steps and the use of tools. The significance of insight learning for animals lies in its ability to allow them to adapt to novel situations and solve problems more efficiently. This form of learning also highlights the incredible cognitive abilities of certain species and showcases the fascinating complexity of animal behavior. In summary, insight learning is an important aspect of animal behavior that enables animals to solve complex problems and adapt to new situations. This type of learning is especially prevalent in animals with higher cognitive abilities, such as apes and birds, and provides valuable insights into the remarkable intelligence of the animal kingdom. Imprinting is a unique form of learning that occurs during a critical period in an animal's early life, typically soon after birth or hatching. This process allows animals to form strong and long-lasting attachments to specific individuals or objects, which often play a crucial role in their survival and development. One of the most well-known examples of imprinting can be found in the behavior of young birds, such as geese and ducks. These animals will instinctively follow and bond with the first moving object they see, which is usually their mother. This phenomenon was first studied by Austrian zoologist Konrad Lorenz, who discovered that young birds could even imprint on humans if they were the first moving object the birds encountered. Imprinting also plays a vital role in the development of navigation skills in some migratory birds. For instance, young homing pigeons are able to learn their home location during the first few weeks of life, which later helps them navigate back to their home roost after traveling long distances. In mammals, imprinting is often seen in the formation of strong social bonds between offspring and their caregivers. For example, newborn foals will typically imprint on their mothers within the first few hours of life, ensuring that they stay close to their primary source of protection and nourishment. Imprinting is essential for the survival and development of many animals, as it allows them to form strong social bonds and develop crucial skills for navigating their environment. The process is also fascinating from a scientific perspective, as it highlights the importance of early life experiences in shaping an animal's behavior and abilities. In conclusion, imprinting is an important aspect of animal behavior that plays a crucial role in the survival and development of many species. This form of learning allows animals to form lasting attachments, develop navigation skills, and build essential social bonds. Understanding the intricacies of imprinting can help us appreciate the complex and fascinating world of animal behavior, and underscores the importance of early life experiences in shaping an animal's life. In this segment of our exploration into animal behavior, we will delve into social learning, cognitive abilities and problem solving, and communication and signaling among animals. Social learning plays a vital role in the lives of many animals. As a process where individuals learn from the experiences and behaviors of others, it allows for the transmission of knowledge and skills throughout a group. For example, cooperative hunting in wolves or dolphins demonstrates the power of social learning in developing effective strategies for capturing prey. Cultural transmission, as seen in bird songs or primate tool use, is another example of how animals learn from one another, shaping their societies and behaviors over time. Next, we'll discuss cognitive abilities and problem-solving skills in animals. From apes using sticks to extract termites from their mounds, to crows fashioning hooks from twigs to retrieve food, numerous species exhibit remarkable problem-solving abilities. These skills showcase the significance of cognitive abilities in animals' adaptation and survival in their environments. Lastly, let's consider communication and signaling in animals. Communication is essential for animals to coordinate group behaviors, reproduce, and navigate predator-prey interactions. Different species use a variety of communication systems, including visual, auditory, and chemical signals. For instance, fireflies use bioluminescent flashes to attract mates, while elephants emit low-frequency rumbles to communicate over long distances. Chemical signals, such as pheromones released by ants, help them navigate and organize their intricate societies. In this section, we will delve into the fascinating world of animal cognitive abilities and problem solving. As we continue to explore animal behavior, it's essential to recognize that animals possess various cognitive skills that allow them to adapt, survive, and thrive in their environments. One of the most remarkable examples of problem solving in the animal kingdom is the use of tools. For instance, certain species of birds, like the New Caledonian crow, are known for their remarkable ability to craft and utilize tools. These crows have been observed using sticks to extract insects from tree bark or crevices, displaying not only their intelligence but also their creativity and adaptability. Another example of problem solving can be found in dolphins. These highly intelligent marine mammals have been known to use various strategies to catch fish, such as using their tails to create mud rings that trap fish and make them easier to catch. This technique showcases the dolphin's ability to understand their environment and manipulate it to their advantage. Innovation in animal behavior is also an indicator of cognitive abilities. Animals that can adapt their behaviors to suit changing environmental conditions or learn from their experiences show a level of intelligence and problem-solving skills. For instance, some chimpanzees have been observed using leaves as umbrellas during rainstorms, displaying their ability to recognize a problem and find a creative solution. It's crucial to acknowledge that these cognitive abilities are not solely reserved for mammals and birds. Invertebrates, such as the octopus, have also demonstrated impressive problem-solving skills. Octopuses have been known to escape enclosures, unscrew jars to obtain food, and even use shells as a makeshift shelter, demonstrating their high level of intelligence and adaptability. Understanding these cognitive abilities and problem-solving skills in animals is vital for various reasons. It allows us to appreciate the complexity of their behaviors and the intricate ways in which they interact with their environments. Additionally, it can inform conservation efforts and improve animal welfare, as we can better tailor our actions to support and protect species with these unique capabilities. In conclusion, the animal kingdom is filled with remarkable examples of cognitive abilities and problem-solving skills. As we continue to study animal behavior, it's crucial to appreciate and respect the intelligence and adaptability these creatures possess. Throughout this exploration of animal behavior, we have delved into the fascinating world of instinct and learning, highlighting the importance of understanding these behaviors in animals. By examining various types of learning, such as habituation, classical conditioning, operant conditioning, observational learning, insight learning, and imprinting, we can gain a deeper appreciation for the diverse and intricate ways animals interact with their environment and each other. As we've seen, both instinct and learning play critical roles in the development, survival, and adaptation of animals. These behaviors, shaped by genes and environment, contribute to the amazing array of skills and abilities displayed by animals in their natural habitats. Observe the ways in which they respond to their environment, interact with each other, and navigate the challenges of their daily lives. By doing so, you'll gain a deeper understanding and appreciation for the incredible world of animal behavior.